Hello, welcome to Lobas. We are going to deal with the topic recent decisions or speaking order. Speaking orders are the third principle of natural justice, and you have seen the first two principles of natural justice. What were they? First is adi altum partem, second one was rule against bias, and the third one is recent decisions. Okay, so in earlier videos also you have seen natural justice, meaning, definitions, the landmark cases and everything. So hope you have a fair idea about the natural justice principle. And this is the last principle, recent decisions and speaking orders. So we'll see what is that and with the landmark cases so that you will have a fair and good idea about that. Okay, so we'll move on to the video. So recent decisions are speaking orders. So in our earlier videos, as I mentioned, we have seen audio altum partum, rule against bias, and today we are going to deal with the topic recent decisions. Okay, so this is the topic, the third topic we are going to deal with recent decisions. So we start with, as you are hearing the word itself, it's very clear what is that. Speaking orders means an order speak for itself. That is, by reading the order or by the saying itself, you come to know what is that. This is simple plain explanation of speaking order. Okay, that is, every order must contain reasons in support of it. So when a judge is giving an order, an administrative authority when giving an order or judgment, it should substantiate its judgment with suitable reasons why it is so. So this is the simple meaning of recent decisions or speaking order. Okay, so that is, this is the third principle of natural justice, as I've already mentioned, right? Okay, so according to Lord Denon, what he said was that giving of reasons is one of the fundamentals of good administrations. So if you're seeing a good administration, so you should substantiate your things with the suitable reasons why, as to why you have provided such a judgment, such a decisions. So that the people, when they see it or hear it, they will have a fair and good idea as to why this decision was taken and for what purpose, and why such decisions for such cases was taken. For a clarity, it was done. Okay, so it introduces clarity and excludes arbitrariness and satisfies the parties concerned against whom the order is passed by the administrative authority. So, when an order is passed against a person by an administrative authority or a judge, whatsoever, so they will be excluded with any kind of arbitrariness and they will have a good clarity on as to why this decision was taken. So what are the characteristics of speaking order? When we see the characteristics, that is, adequate and sufficient reasons, no particular form required, and applicability to public and private law. These are the characteristics which you're going to see. So the first one is adequate and sufficient reasons. What is that? The reasons should be clear, logical, and pertinent to the case, and the decisions must contain enough reasons to justify the conclusions. So, the reasons which are given should be logical, should be clear, and pertinent to the case. It should be to the case. It should not be, you are not referring to any other case. You are not going to say examples with any other things. You are going to give the reasons with in the case itself for what purpose this decisions was taken and for as to why, as in what clauses it was taken. So this will have a good clarity among the petitioners or whatever persons support. Okay, So this will have a good clarity among the people who are in the cases or the parties to the cases. Okay, so this is adequate and sufficient reasons. The second one is no particular form required. So when you're giving a reason, there is no prescribed form or any kind of format. This is according to the adjudicating authority or administrative authority. They have the full power to give the reasons. What are the reasons in whatever manner as they like. Okay. Applicability to public and private law. Third one. So it is relevant in both public and private law context to ensure fairness and transparency across different types of legal proceedings. So in whatever laws, public or private, whatever laws it is that in order to have a transparency or in order to have a fair clearness and all, this is to be the speaking orders has to be applied. So this was the characteristics of speaking order or recent decisions. So what is the need for speaking orders? When you're seeing what is the need? There is fairness in administrative powers, minimizing arbitrariness, right to reasons, good administration practice, satisfaction to affected parties, effective use of right to appeal. So these are the needs of speaking orders. That is, first one is fairness in administrative proceedings. So as the word suggests, there will have a fairness when you are giving a reasons to your decisions. It will have a good fair idea among the parties what the decisions was taken. Okay, so second one is minimizing arbitrariness. So when you're seeing the reasons itself, you will have a fair and good idea and it will not have any kind of arbitrariness. So it will naturally minimize the arbitrariness. Right to reasons, that is when you hear the reasons itself, the parties will have a good and fair idea about what was the case. They already have a case at hand and what the administrating and adjudicating authority had taken the decisions and the reasons also they will have a good idea for what. So the fourth one is good administration practice. When you're giving a fair definitions or fair clarifications as to why it was done, as to why it is going to be done. So the things itself speaks for itself. Any person who is seeing, they'll have a good and fair idea about for what this decision was taken, and there will not have to be many kind of definitions given for that. So that is the good administration practice. And fifth one is satisfaction to affected parties. When the parties to this case of and they see the speaking orders or the reasons, they will have a good satisfaction that okay, this is why this decision was taken. And the sixth one is effective use of right to appeal. When you know the reasons as to why this order was passed and what was the reason for the order. So when if you're going for an appeal, you will have a full clarity on your subjects or the case and you'll have for what things your appeal lies and what is the right to appeal. If you have any right to appeal or if you have a right itself, you in what thing you will need to go. So these are the things when the adjudicating authority, administrative authority, when they are giving a recent decisions, these are the things. This is the need. Okay, hope you have understood. So this is the very important case in recent decision which came up and when the recent decision was introduced. The case Siemens Engineering and Manufacturing Company versus Union of India. This is a case in 1976. Okay, so the Supreme Court held that the rules giving reasons in support of an order is a third principle of natural justice. That is, this was the decision of Supreme Court in Siemens Engineering and Manufacturing Company versus Union of India. The next case is Sunil Batra versus Delhi Administration 1978 case. The Supreme Court ruled that administrative authority must provide reasons for decisions affecting fundamental rights, reinforcing the need for transparency and accountability. This was the decision of the Supreme Court. In Liberty Oil Mills versus Union of India, the court held that while reasons need not be communicated, they must exist and be recorded to ensure the decision's legality. When if you are not communicating also, but the reasons has to be mentioned, the reasons has to exist and recorded so that legalities in decisions is ensured. Okay, this is the decision in Liberty Oil Mills versus Union of India. And Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India is a very familiar case among law students. It is applied in many of the cases, many of the articles and everything. So what was the case? As you all know, and this is called the passport case. This impounding of passport of Maneka Gandhi was violation of natural justice. So why this case is given here? This case is given here because what this purely states that while the impounding of passport was done, Maneka Gandhi was not given and a definition as to why her passport was impounded. There was no part, so the natural justice was violated here. So this is the important cases in recent decisions. We have much more cases, but I'm concluding with these cases, and we will conclude with speaking orders ensure the decisions of administrative and judicial authority are fair, transparent, and accountable. So the speaking orders or recent decisions. What ensures that the judicial authorities' decisions are fair, transparent, and accountable. Getting by recording reasons, it minimizes arbitrariness, uphold the right to reasons, and facilitate effective judicial review. Okay, and they are an important aspects of good governance and administration, reflecting a commitment to fairness and the rule of law. This, but this will conclude. So we understood what is the speaking order and recent decisions. Okay, so we'll see in our next video.